All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourselves. Welcome again to the Delano King podcast. And today we are turning our attention to a deeply troubling event, the violent land dispute that erupted in the red light commercial district. I begin the show by strongly condemning these senseless and lawless violence carried out by these Mandingo Muslim Terrorist. What happened was unacceptable, shameful, and a danger to the peace and stability of our country. Red Light is one of Liberia's major commercial hubs, where thousands of businessmen and women earn their living every single day. Violence of this kind, especially violence deliberately carried out by these Mandingo Muslim terrorists, is completely unacceptable. It disrupts lawful businesses, threatens innocent people, and sends a negative message about our country to the rest of the world. Now, we see pictures all across social media today of, I think, a bank got set ablaze in the same red light, properties being set ablaze, Mandingo terrorists are stoning the police because they vow to do everything possible that this court order won't be executed by the police. We see all these vicious things basically on every platform today. And this started, I think, a week ago. But according to a report, this is a land dispute between two individuals of the Mandingo Muslim community who has some dispute over this land. And this went as far as the Supreme Court. The court heard the case and ruled in the interests of one of the party. But instead of following the court order, the losing party interpreted the court ruling as a declaration of war. And this is the mess we are seeing on the screen, based on a limited mindset. That the court has ruled against us. So this is a declaration of war. It started sometime last week, and now we are taking another direction again today. And social media is on fire. These things got to stop. We Liberians, the original Liberians, we have to get to a point to decide whether we're going to have a country or not. Our corrupt men and women in offices whose primary goal is to loot the country, it's about time that they decide to have a country, or we have a country or not. Because these criminals are pouring into our country from Guinea every single day. They blend into our community, and now, quote unquote, they are Liberians. And they begin to carry out these vicious acts across our country. We cannot allow these things to happen. I said this in one of my podcasts. I live with the view that Mandingos are not Liberians. These are people who migrated. Their forefathers migrated to Liberia. And now one day, Doe woke up, maybe Alhaji Groban gave him some young girl, and he declared them as citizens of Liberia. These are things we need to look into. They always believe that they are better than the typical Liberians. They believe that they have the reason to live by the rule of law. They are bigger than the rule of law or the Republic of Liberia. We cannot tolerate this. This is one of the reasons I tell people I miss President Taylor so bad. Because if he was in that position today, this bullshit won't be going on. Court said, you are wrong. We are going to evict you. And you say, oh, there's a declaration of war against us. And now you are causing problems upon problems. Family, men and women who sell in our market. Today they have no means of selling. this affects the economy of the country. And even a handful of criminals that come into our country and say, and many of you call them investors who invested in Liberia, these are some of the things they want to see, some of them. Because it gave them the opportunity to loot the country without paying taxes. Even though the taxes they pay, our political leaders steal it anyway. But some of them want something like this. But we need to wake up and do something. We cannot allow this to continue happening with these Mandingo criminals who feel they're above the law. We can't do that. Leaders within the Mandingo Muslim community issue what I call a preemptory order instructing the Mandingo Muslim terrorists to defend their mosques and resist law enforcement officers who were simply trying to execute the court order. These groups armed themselves, these criminals, these terrorists, these Mandingo terrorists, Mandingo Muslim terrorists. And the reason why I call them Mandingo Muslim terrorists is because the truth is that we are not seeing the typical Liberian Muslim rising up against government. We are not seeing that. We are not seeing any violence from the typical Liberian Muslim, whether it is the vibe, the whatever it is. We have never seen something of this kind. But it is these Mandingo people who feel that they are better than the typical Liberian, who want their own holiday, who want their own this, who want their own that, and all this bullshit going on. Go double bridge. They are occupied that whole area. Place that used to be so clean and neat. But go there today, dirt upon dirt. And we say we have city mayor. What are we doing when it comes to our country? Are we going to allow the people to come from Guinea, settle in our land, and treat our people like leper, or even go against the government when the Supreme Court gave an order for them to be evicted? And they are throwing all kinds of nonsense on law enforcement officers. At this point in time, in my view, the military need to come in. Joseph Boakai need to call in the military and declare this nonsense a state of emergency, and order the military to use whatever force they can use to get rid of these criminals, because these are terrorists. This is why everybody look at the Muslim religion, Islam, to be nothing but terrorist. And I still live with the view that we still have some good Muslim out there. How can you say Allah Wakubalu when you are in the process of killing someone, destroying another person's life? Then you scream Allah Wakubalu. What is that? Doesn't make no sense. My mother is a Muslim. Half of my family are Muslim. But the typical Liberian Muslim had never been this vicious in Liberia. You never see them into all of this nonsense. But it is the Mandingo people. We don't see the nonsense in Ghana, happening in Ghana. We don't see this in other countries. But they pour into our country because we have useless men and women in offices who claim to be lawmakers. We have useless leaders who don't care about the country, but only themselves. The Supreme Court say, evict them. That's the law. If you don't like the law, pack your shit and go back to Guinea. Wherever you came from, pack and go. Get in your headabout trucks, your old trucks, get in it and cross the border and go back. But if the Supreme Court say your ass should be evicted, you have to get evicted. And if these things continue, the military need to come in. The military need to come in and enforce law and order. Because we can't sit down and allow this country to keep going backward. We are already 2 centuries backward. We can't allow this to continue. How long? The typical Liberian, you need to ask yourself, what word are you willing to leave for your children tomorrow? What country are you willing to leave for your children tomorrow? I said in one of my podcasts, it's about time that we work to strengthen our immigration system. It's about time we get to do something to move this country in the right direction. Take a listen.
Kana la jamo badula. Afrika silama ya le madoya. Afrika faka wa silama ya belo. Ma silama ya kerelela. Misi tete mana manale. Eh, ai daga kama Afrika. Namu. Aina. التكبير الله أكبر لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله.
That's what happened in Liberia. That's the first day that this madness took place. Is this the country we want to leave behind for our children? Are these the kind of people we want to bring in our country? Are these the kind of people we want to have in our country? What example are we showing to the next generation? The very country they came from, Guinea, can they do what they're doing in Guinea? These criminals, these terrorists need to be arrested and tied and shipped back to Guinea. And it's about time that we restrict our entry and exit point with Guinea. It's about time that we work to strengthen our immigration system, not just to loot, because these things send a wrong message. You got all these criminals. You got grown-ass men and women who call themselves lawmakers, whose primary responsibility is to insult each other mothers and fathers. But the basic things that they need to do to work in the interest of the country, they are not doing it. But ladies and gentlemen, no matter how messy Liberia may be, we still have laws. And like every nation on earth, when two people go to court, only one of them will win. That is the nature of justice. They went to court. They say Group A or Mr. A, you're wrong. Mr. B, you win the case. Accept the ruling. I've been to court myself. There were decisions that were made by the judge. The other party didn't like it, but they have to accept it. When we see video of these Mandingo Muslim terrorists refusing to honor a Supreme Court ruling, threatening violence and resisting authorities, it tells us something very clear. These individuals are not willing to abide by the law of Liberia. One of them even said it proudly. Take a listen.
Why did I want to go through the referral proceeding? Why did I want to go through the referral? It was for our hands. We said they will not take their property, but when they finish with everyone else, they will take their property. We were here to protect our property, and I stay here. I'm on the ground here. We were here today, and I stay here. And any day they're ready to come, we will be here. So if you tell your dirty mouth for in the case, you might have it. It ain't no more day. No more danger than Bali. You who? So bad day. You who for you to put your money in the business, in our case business. You who, by the way, you damn sick offense. You can't do nothing. You don't stand for shit.
She made it clear. The government will have to kill all of them before the eviction is carried out. Just think. Nonsense. And our politicians are sitting there and nothing can be done. I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know about you. Because we all don't have the same mindset. I don't know about you. But what I saw in that video wasn't just a protest. The first video, the second video, what I saw, it wasn't just a protest. It was the early sign of something dangerous. Something dangerous. And if we don't take this seriously, we could be watching the birth of a Mandingo Muslim terrorist group right in Liberia. Why I say so? Because this is exactly how groups like Boko Haram, ISIS, and Al-Shabaab began. Angry people driven by tribal and religious manipulation twisted justice into violence. This is a wake-up call. And we Liberian, the typical Liberian, we all need to stand up and begin to put some measures in place to curb this nonsense. These people, all they know about is violence. I was just talking to a friend of mine a few hours ago. How can you take knife and cutting someone's neck off and you screaming Allahu Akbar? What is that? You want to do these kind of things? Go to Guinea. Go to some Muslim country. Go join other whatsoever group and do it there. But we cannot allow this in Liberia. This don't only based on religion. It's based on the mindset of the Mandingo people. Because something tells them that they are far better off than the typical Liberian man. And you're sitting on somebody's shoulder and you're telling them the most thing. How can you be in people's country, looking for a place to live, looking for somewhere to be, and you're telling them that you are better than them? What sense in that? But ladies and gentlemen, even in moment like this, there are always people willing to stand up for the truth, no matter the cost. They are willing to turn their back on a religion. They are willing to turn their back on a tribe because they know they are not defined by religion or tribe. And one of those men is a young man called Mark Jabate. Take a listen.
When the court send evasion order, the police are there now. The orders are there, inciting violence, stealing the police, taking classes, shouting Allahu Akbar. It does not make sense. We should not make Islam to look like a violent religion. Islam is a peaceful religion. Islam says we should obey authority. You as a Muslim should obey authority. You saw what happened here at the CDC headquarters? When the court went there, they came out evasion order, there was no violence. So nobody should come out to say this thing it had to do with Islam. No, it had nothing to do with Islam. It had nothing to do with our religion. Nobody is undermining or going against our religion. So those who are calling on and our brothers and sisters to go, because to go there, to say go and come and defend the mosque, it does not make sense at all. Let us respect the law.
Let us respect the law. This is not a religious war. He said, this has nothing to do with religion. He said, a member of the very Mandingo group community. This has nothing to do with religion. But because they believe in violence, the Mandingo people, they believe they're above authority. So something tell them they don't need to listen. They don't need to abide by the court order. But therefore, you come out, let us fight the police. Stoning the police. We cannot live this way in this country. It's about time that we do everything possible to defend this country. Defend it from another civil unrest. Defend it and design it and build it for our next generation and generations to come. What country are you willing to leave behind? A country of Mandingo Muslim terrorists? Because if we don't do the right thing today, I see Liberia becoming Nigeria, where in the north you have Boko Haram, and the primary mission is to kill Christians. I see that happening in Liberia. If we don't stand up today and put these criminals, find place to put them, tie the shit out of them and ship them back to Guinea. If you don't want to abide by our laws, pack your shit and go back to Guinea. Go to some country that you want to abide by the laws. We don't see this stuff happening in Ghana. We don't see it happening in Ivory Coast. We don't see it happening in Sierra Leone. But why Liberia? The little Lucky Dube once sang. He said, if you stand up for the truth, you will always stand alone. And the video we saw earlier with Minister Mark Jabate speaking, that's exactly what happened to him. That's exactly the position he found himself in, standing alone, rejected by his own people, the Mandingo people, simply because he spoke the truth. But ladies and gentlemen, I've said before that one of my greatest concerns about Musa Bedete possibly becoming president of Liberia lies in what I call the tribal and political implications his leadership might bring. Most of you in our country, you are excited because of the temporary project he's carrying out across Liberia. Some of you who call yourselves market women, You are excited because of the 100,000 Liberian dollar he giving you, the 1 million Liberian dollar he giving you, and all of you super excited. Because when Liberians yell need money, their brain become their butt. You are not thinking. Everybody's super excited. Is that Mr. Bennett's responsibility to build roads? I said this on my other podcast. It is the federal government job to build roads. That's not his job. It's just that Liberia is an outlaw country. We don't have nothing set up in place. Few weeks ago, he was in Minnesota. Posted with one of the senators in some district in Minnesota. Did that senator ever told him she build roads when she was running for the senatorial position in Minnesota? No. Because why? They have system in place. Her picture was not everywhere and say, oh, XYZ project. It's not her job. It's not his job to build roads. But he carrying out all of these things because why we living in a nation where there is no law. This is a conflict of interest. This is why many of you vote the wrong people into offices. Because of the temporary light they show you. Mr. Bennett is a businessman. You think every dime and penny he's spending on the bullshit like he building in Liberia that you're so excited over. You think when he become president, he don't want them back? His first term in office, his first 6 years in office, his primary responsibility will be to pay himself with interest if he ever wins the election. But you are not thinking. This is about time that the government puts some measures in place to prevent certain lawmakers and those who want to get into the political arena, to prevent them from carrying out personal initiatives such as building roads, bridges, and even giving gift to people. If you want to seek office, you don't do that. It becomes a conflict of interest because there's a strong possibility that person will vote into office not because you are the right candidate, but because of the temporary bribe you gave them. But we don't have a country. Complete nonsense. These are things that Yeke had talked about all along. You go to Lima County, he building bridges, he building road. This yellow machine, he just is now a few days ago, I know how many yellow machine he bringing. Ladies and gentlemen, all those things are bullshit. Since this country was founded, yellow machine topic have been around. It makes no difference. If Benedict spend $50,000 on yellow machine, when he get into office, the first 6 years of his life, you'll be slave. You'll be treated like leper by these Mandingo people. You'll be ran over in your own country by the Mandingo people. You have to think. Is that Mr. Bennett's job to build roads? I love him. I don't know him. I am sick and tired of seeing politicians playing on the mind of the innocent and stupid and useless Liberians who don't make decisions for themselves. It's not his job to build roads. All of these things he's doing is just to get you attention. That's how the devil operates. The devil gave you one hand and take with the other hand. That's all he's doing. It's not a job to build road. It's called conflict of interest. But think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Just think about it for a second, man. What if this same conflict had been between the Mandingo Muslim and the Christian community? Just think for a second. Two brothers, they are willing to kill each other. One party is willing to kill the other party because I think the winning party is not into fighting, but the other party. But two brothers from the same religion, Muslim, they are willing to kill each other. They're burning down banks. They're burning down property. They're throwing all kind of stuff at the police. What if this same conflict had been between the Mandingo Muslim and the Christian community? How would life be today in Liberia? How would life be? And if the court had ruled in favor of the Christian, how will life be? Would we now be facing a religious war? How will life be in Liberia? Because there is no way the Mandingo people are going to say, oh, the court say we should give it to the Christian community. Let us give it to them and move on. There's no way. They will be willing to call the terrorist group to come out and fight. Then we'll be talking about religious war. Make this very clear. That's why I'm not saying the Muslim community. I attach it with the Mandingo Muslim because they are the one causing problem in this country. I grew up Muslim before I became Christian. I was never taught violence. Half of my family are Muslims. No violence. The typical Liberian Muslim, we have no problem. There's no violence. Nothing of that nature. But all of these things we see happening across Liberia. They want holiday, they want to aid their Mandingo people. You stranger in our country, then you want to tell us what you want? Who are you? Pack your shit and go back to Guinea or wherever you came from. If this something had been between Christian and Muslim, today Liberia will be upside down. Because there is no way on planet Earth they will be willing to give all that marks to the Christian or to give all that land to the Christian. They will want to fight. You heard a young girl saying, until you kill all of us, at the only time you do it, yes, then we'll kill you. That's why I want the military to come in and use every force possible. Because when you're dealing with terrorists, you don't deal with them like human beings. When you're dealing with these kind of people, you don't deal with them like human beings. How will life be if this was between the Christian and the Muslim and the court ruled in favor of the Christian? Today, your children's head will be cut off. Maybe all the churches across Liberia will be set ablaze. But we need to do something. Because if we don't start doing something today to put this madness under control, I see a serious problem coming in the future. This is not a time to sit and laugh and joke. You can never live in peace with people who don't think like you. The Fula men in Liberia, there's no problem with the Fula people. You can live with Fula people. You will be like family. You will eat. You will do everything together. But not the Mandingo men. Not the Mandingo people. Something always tell them, I don't know where that senseless spirit came from in them, that they are always better than other people. Dirty people. Even your home, they're renting from you. They're trying to do some jalama for you to give your house to them. Most people don't even want to rent to them because of the mindset. A good friend of mine called me. Somebody went to rent his property. And they went there. They said they are VAR. Can't you find the Mandingo? He said, no, I can't give you my property. Yeah, I'm not saying all of them, they are bad people. Let me be very clear here. I'm not saying all of them are bad people. But I'm talking about majority. This is a society we find ourselves. A society filled with frustration, confusion, and people who have lost the ability to think clearly. I don't know where all the frustration coming from in the country. I don't know where all this hate coming from in the country. And Senator Snow said the same thing a few weeks ago. We are not living in a country where hate is just everywhere. People just getting angry. People just, every little thing do somebody there to curse your mom. Look across social media today. But we cannot live this way. Senator Snow spoke about this just a few weeks ago. What word are we willing to leave behind for our children? For our generations and generations to come? What word, what country? We are 2 centuries backward. What country are we willing to leave behind? Grown men and women who should know better have become blinded by religious and political foolishness. Grown men, old lily. People who you should look up to for wisdom, for knowledge, or for some guidance. People who should know better have become blinded by religious and political foolishness, to the extent that they are willing to kill their own brothers and sisters just to make a point that make no sense. Take a listen.
You dead dog. You dead dog. That you all want to put your mouth in the cup. You better your dirty mouth from Isa. You think somebody afraid of you? To hell with you and your rescue government. We not tell about with deeper water than a hot water. We not tell about with deeper water than a hot water. You think we afraid? You think we afraid? You think we afraid? Stupid human being. You jumping up, talking like that. They put a quality of the people there. General the one who marry and pa marry. They were here today. We never needed a bastard like you much about here. We not need you. The people that who marry and pa marry, we that were born in well, we were here today to protect our religion. We were here today to protect our mosque. Nobody need no more than you that were born in sin. You think we need you?
You see, ladies and gentlemen, the word today, our country, our society, is full of psychopaths and crazy people. And everybody want to prove a point that makes no sense. It is only a corrupt religious mindset that makes one to believe that a child born out of wedlock is less valuable than one born within it. So in my view, she was speaking from a corrupt, limited religious mindset. Demoding. You calling him bastard. Limode. Why? Because his mother is a Gio woman and the father was a Mandingo man. So now he's Limode. He's a bastard. And that's why I said to you earlier, the Mandingo people, that's how they think. And if they think like that of their own, what more about you? Run beyond Mr. ability because of the temporary nonsense he's giving you people. And let him become elected tomorrow, God forbid. See how they will treat you in your own country. The leper will be far better than you. They will treat you the rare leper or runaway slave. That's how they will treat you. Some of you, your own home, they will take it from you. Go double bridge. Everywhere they have taken it. Because while they come, they gave you money, you sell your land. Because something tell you, say hardship will stay forever. Hardship never lasts. It's tough people that last. But you get, oh, you want to sell your land, yeah, they give it to you, sell it. Let ability become president. They calling their own brother, she calling her own brother Lemode. Bastard. Speaking from a limited, corrupt religious mindset. But you tell me, you be the judge. Does God care how someone was born? The last time I checked, God doesn't care. It's religious philosophy that makes one think or speak in this senseless way. Corrupt religious philosophy. That because you are born out of wedlock, so and I was born into it means I'm better than you. That's the typical Mandingo man thinking. But does God really care how one was born? I don't think so. Because the last time I checked, seeing rain fall on you who was born into wedlock, they seeing rain fall on somebody else who was born out of it. They seeing sun shine on you and shine on the other person. I don't see no difference. They seeing hard time going on in Liberia. You experiencing the same hard time. Maybe you might not because your father or someone maybe in government or maybe got big business. It's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But that still don't make you better. There are people across the world who some may call bastard, like her. She may call these people bastard, who are doing more for humanity than many who were born into marriage. Understand that, my beloved sister. You're too beautiful. You're a smart chick. Don't dwell your thinking on religious and tribal stupidity. You're smart. I wish to meet you someday. You're smart. But don't judge the fighting, the negative energy that you are wasting, that she's wasting. Even in the Arab world, they don't waste the kind of energy. You say we're fighting for our religion. How can you fight for religion that you barely know? Something that will birth to you. Then you say you fight. How can you fight for it? Something that will birth to you. Someone came and they sold the idea to you. Then you say you're fighting for it. To live with the mindset that when you fight for your religion and you die, you're going somewhere good. I don't understand the kind of a mindset. That's a terrorist mentality. You don't need to fight for no damn religion. Because when you fight for religion and you die, religion ain't carrying you anywhere, my sister. The religion will still be here. Muslim or Islam been around for a long time. It's a young religion, but it's been around for a while now. There are a lot of people, Bin Laden, dead and gone. You're still fighting for religion. There are people out there, even in social media, that your message will convey through. You know, if Mark's mother and father were married before she had him? No. But this is a product you're using. So you cannot live with the view that being born into wedlock means you are better than somebody who never was not born into it. No. God does not judge people by their birth circumstances. No. President Obama, you call him bastard child because his mother and father were not married. But he grew up to become the president of the United States of America, one of the greatest men in the world. But this is the typical mindset of the Mandingo people. Something makes them to believe that they are better than the people whose shoulder they are sitting on. But ladies and gentlemen, many within the Mandingo community have displayed a sense of supremacy that divides them from other Liberians. I said that earlier. They displayed a sense of importance, that they are more important than the typical Liberians. Take a listen from their own very brother.
I see some people referring to me as Damusadane. Is that a crime when your mother is not a Mandingo? Are you better than me? That's the same thing that we did in Nima County, referring to others as Damusadane, Yomondane. If you love Islam, go to Bapulu and Bero Islamic School there. If you love Islam, go to Bombay County and Bay Islamic School there. You have abandoned this area in the name of we are Mandingo. We are better than other tribal people. What's wrong with our Mandingo community? Why are we so emotional? Why are we so aggressive? They will look at other people, they say they are better than them. Better say me, Damusadane, a community. That's why you see our community, we are so divisive. You're telling me that Jowa Musudane is a Gio son, is a bastard. You calling me Damusadane. Deceitful community. A deceitful community. A community that always want to bring their own down. And that's why I tell my face to the Gola people. I'm telling the Gola people, I'm part of you. I'm telling the Va people, I'm part of you. And they're proud of me.
That's the mindset. This is their own son. He already telling you that that's the mindset they live with. That they are Mandingo. Therefore, they're better than other tribes. How can you be better than other tribes in Liberia when you are living in the spaces? How possible is that? That's the mindset. But if we allow that attitude to grow unchecked, if we allow that kind of an attitude that Mr. Jabate just emphasized on, that they live with the view that they are better than everybody else in Liberia, if we allow that kind of an attitude to grow unchecked, and if someone like Mr. Berete ever become president, Liberia will face an influx of Mandingos from Guinea, pushing native Liberian to the margin. So some of you who running up the street, oh, Mr. Berete, God sent you. It's God sent because he giving you 1 or 2 cents now. I don't even know if this is election season. I always ask myself because it seems like they already running campaign. Because he giving you 1 or 2 cents. Because he building roads. He doing this. He bringing yellow machine. How can you celebrate for yellow machine? But because the people, I don't know what wrong with Liberian people. You as a citizen of Liberia, you are entitled to roles. This is something for you to celebrate. Government shouldn't do anything regardless who is the president. Regardless, no government comes in power and whatever thing they happen to do, never celebrate it because what it is your right. That's why you pay taxes. It is your right to roles, to good roles. It is your right to good healthcare system. It is your right to good educational system. It is your right. Ain't nothing that to celebrate over. But because they know that you people are so stupid and dumb, they talk about yellow machines. You think yellow machine you celebrating? You think yellow machine just started today? Yellow machine just started today? When we were growing up, once every 5, 6, 7 years, they will bring yellow machine to Greater the Road in Robertsport. Today, you really think if our politicians had this country in mind, since this country was founded, up to today's day, you think Liberia won't be laid out 100%? Regardless of the stupid, senseless civil war we fought, we will still have a better infrastructure. But since this country was funded to present, and that's what I said yesterday in my other podcast, the looting of Liberia does not begin with high quality, start with the George Weah administration. It started since 1847. If the men and women who were in offices, who became the first president, and all of these things across Liberia, if these people had Liberia in mind, Liberia will be one of the most developed countries in Africa, as small as it is. So if this country was in the heart and mind and soul of politicians, Liberia will be completely one of the most developed countries in Africa. Think on how Ghanaians transformed their mind and have transformed the land into a place where your politicians go every day to seek medical treatment. If they can do it, you can do it. You had the resources yesterday. The money was floating into Liberia yesterday. But nobody did nothing. So yellow machine is not something to be excited about. This is your right. It is your right to good rules. It is your right to good educational system. It is your right that your children go to government school and sit in a decent building. It is your right. But when they talk about yellow machine, you dancing. What are you dancing about? You don't even know. That means you don't even know your own right. Why must you tell government thank you for you paying taxes? All he doing is to deceive you, to make you hype, to think he's in your interest. But he's not. He's not. You got to think. If we allow that attitude to grow unchecked, like I said earlier, and if someone like Mr. Musa Bility, ever become president, Liberia will face an influx of Mandingos from Guinea, pushing native Liberians to the margin. But ladies and gentlemen, Liberia, the truth is that Liberia has been through war before. We know the pain it brings. Please, please, let us not repeat history. Original Liberians, typical Liberians, take care of your country. Take care of your country. Stop selling your passport to foreigners. Stop doing things that you have no reason of doing. Liberia is your country. That's what I said, original and typical Liberians. Take care of Liberia. Take care of your country. Think of the word or the country or the society you want to leave behind for your children. You, the police officers, let go of the bribes. Take care of your country. Because if you don't take care of your country, and these Mandingo terrorists get hold of it, you'll be slave in your own country. This is Delano King Podcast. If you like the show, like and follow us for more. Until next time, stay wise, stay strong, and stay peaceful. Have a blessed day.